So good afternoon / good evening, Mount Rainier. Today is January 6th, a Tuesday at 7 p.m. And this is the City of Mount Rainier Mayor and Council Legislative Meeting being held virtually. I'm going to go ahead and do a call of order for Council. Woodall?
Here.
Half Power?
Present.
Jakuda?
Present.
Thank you, Council members. Carter?
Present.
All right, that's full quorum. Thank you guys so much. Valerie, can you please help me lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. And can you please help me review the agenda aloud?
Yes, this is the agenda of the legislative meeting of the Mayor and City Council for the City of Mount Rainier. It's a virtual meeting Tuesday, January 6th, 2026 at 7 p.m. 1, call to order / pledge of allegiance. We just did that. 2, review of the agenda, 5 minutes. The Mayor and Council will review the agenda for the meeting, adding or deleting topics of interest or discussion. Number 3, Mayor and Council member event announcements. Number 4, presentation from the Anacostia Trails Heritage Area, ATHA, 20 minutes. The Mayor and Council will receive a presentation from Megan Paco, Executive Director, and the team from the Anacostia Trails Heritage Area, ATHA. 5, presentation of building application for 3803 32nd Street, Mount Rainier, Maryland. The Mayor and Council will receive a presentation from the owner of 3803 32nd Street, Mount Rainier, Maryland. Number 6, City Manager's Report. City Manager Koresh Kamali will present his report to the Mayor and Council. Number 7, public comment. Please see page 3 of the agenda where rules for public comments are listed. If you wish to speak, please advise during the virtual meeting. Old business, number 8, second reading and adoption of resolution number 10-2025, 10 minutes. The Mayor and Council will have a second reading and adoption of resolution number 10-2025, proclaiming December 10th as Human Rights Day. Number 9, vote on approval of minutes, 5 minutes. The Mayor and Council will vote on approving the minutes for the November 18th, 2025 special legislative meeting and work session, December 2nd, 2025 public hearing and legislative meeting. New business, the first reading, number 10, the first reading of resolution number 01-2026, authorizing participation in the Prince George's County Planning Assistance for Municipalities and Communities, PAMC Strategic Action Plan Project. 10 minutes. The Mayor and Council will have the first reading of resolution number 01-2026. Number 11, discussion and vote on support for the Help Us Stop the Landover Data Center Community Outreach, 20 minutes. Councilmember Joseph Jakuda will lead a discussion with the Mayor and Council regarding support for the Landover community's outreach efforts to oppose the proposed Landover Data Center. Number 12, presentation of minutes, 5 minutes. The City Clerk will present the December 16th work session minutes to the Mayor and Council. And number 13, adjournment.
Okay, thank you so much. The agenda has been read. Is there any item that needs to be added, deleted, or removed from the agenda?
If it pleases the chair.
Okay, go ahead, Joseph.
I would like to remove item 11. There was a bit of confusion over which agenda this was supposed to go on. According to our council rules, written public petitions, Section 7D, written communications requiring council action are supposed to be placed on the agenda of the next regular work session. So since this is a legislative session, it should not be on this particular agenda, but our next agenda. So I would like to have it postponed until our work session.
And that is the data center item, correct? I apologize.
Correct.
The partial agenda's on it. Okay, Melissa, can you please remove it and move it actually to the work session for January in 2 weeks or so?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, so thank you. Any objection to the removal of the item? All right, thank you guys. I hear no, I see no from everybody. So if not, speak up now. Okay, good. So item number 11 is going to be removed and everything else is going to be bumped up. Okay. All right. We have a working
Mayor,
agenda. Go ahead.
Mayor, I had a question about item number 10.
Hold on 1 second. Item number 10, go ahead.
It says the first reading of the resolution, and I believe it should say the first reading and vote on the resolution.
Melissa? Is this first reading and vote or just first reading?
This is first reading. It was brought to the work session first for discussion, and now it's at the legislative for the first reading.
I understand that, but this is a simple resolution, and simple resolutions should be voted upon at the first legislative meeting to which they are brought.
Okay, so I will tell you that that's not a practice we have done. We usually have them read twice so that it gives enough time for the residents to be able to comment. That's the reason why it's brought to a work session, first reading, and then second reading. And we've been doing that even with a simple resolution as a proclamation that's been read like 5 years in a row, and we still have gone 2 readings on it, just to give enough time for the residents to have an opinion on it if they choose to. So
I
that's
would like
been
to
more or less
change
the
our
protocol.
practice.
Okay, well, it is what we have right now, and I think that's the reason why the clerk wrote it as such. So we will have to wait.
The municipal code distinguishes between simple resolutions and substantive resolutions, as do the council rules, and I would like to start following the rules. The council rules specify that substantive resolutions in all ordinances require 14 days apart in the readings, and this is a simple resolution. If the council rules meant simple resolutions should also be read twice, then it would say that, and I would like to start following what the rules state.
So Melissa, was the proclamation read as presented priorly, since you're a clerk? Or this is the first time we're presented as the first time we presented as a document itself?
No, we had it in the work session, which Vice Mayor Woodall went through the resolution.
Council, it's up to what you guys want to do. I know we usually give enough time for the residents to have an opinion on items. And that's been the standard practice. If you guys want to change it, I think it needs to go to a work session and we could discuss this. But if not, it was advertised to the community as no voting item. For us to change it today, we shouldn't do it. We can move forward in any other resolution doing it. But I think tonight it was not presented as a voting item. So in the fairness of transparency, I definitely will ask you guys to postpone it for next month. And if you guys want to move forward with doing that from now on, we could, but it was advertised, and no, there hasn't been no heads up, to at least not to me, that wanted to be changed into a voting item for tonight.
I'm fine to postpone it, Mayor.
Thank you, Jenny. Anybody else?
If it pleases the chair, I would like to just say I concur with Councilmember Huffpower's reasoning that was stated about simple resolutions versus substantive resolutions, though I certainly understand where you're coming from with wanting to maybe start afresh in our next round of resolutions.
I will take it to a work session because I want to make sure the community also understands what's one versus the other, because they need to have clarity in order for them not to feel that now we're just throwing resolutions for votes with one reading, and they might not see what the difference is between one another, especially when we are entering into projects. So this is not just a simple, this is where the city stands. It's more of like, this is where the city stands and this is what they're going to be moving forward to. So Melissa, can you go ahead and add it to the work session when it comes to an explanation between one and the other in order for us to get even more clarity?
Noted, Mayor.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Anything else?
I have nothing further.
Okay, so we have a working agenda. Thank you guys so much. Moving on to item number 3, Mayor and council members' announcements. Go ahead, Jenny.
Ribbon cutting tomorrow at 11 a.m. I hope people attend. I'm excited. At Potts Hall, 1 Municipal Place, Mount Rainier. That's it.
Joseph?
When the event is, everyone should sign up, go to our website and sign up to join our Mountain Rainier Green Team. We are now accepting applicants. You don't have to have an environmental background. No, it's preferred, but if all you want to do is help benefit the environment in Mount Rainier, we still need about 3 more applicants in order to have a full slate of members. You can go to our city's website to take care of that.
Thank you so much. If they have any questions, they could reach to you, Joseph.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, thank you so much, Danielle.
Yes, I want to thank everybody who participated in the Parade of Lights last month. It was a roaring success. I want to thank the 4 residents who participated by having cider stations. It was my understanding that all goodie bags and passports were distributed to children in the community, and everybody really enjoyed it. So thank you all very much who participated and came out and looked at the lights and enjoyed Santa. Also, I think maybe just Councilmember Jakuda may have forgotten, but we want to also encourage everybody to consider in the new year participating in our city compost program. Please go to the website, the city website, and you can fill out the information there to request a compost bin. If you are not familiar with composting or have questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us on council. We'll be more than happy to answer you, because I know at least 2 or 3 of us are regular proponents for composting. So thank you very much.
Valerie?
Thank you. I will just say that we just recently have a vacancy on our Arts Commission. So we have 1 position there. So if people want to sign up, you can go to the same website that Joseph was talking about to sign up for the Arts Commission. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Millie, can you put the agenda to the bottom so I can make the announcements of things coming up? So tomorrow we're going to have the Potts Hall Welcome Center ribbon cutting at 11 a.m. There's definitely a labor of love that has gone through various councils and former mayors, vision to get it to where it's at, and staff members as well. So tomorrow we're going to cut the ribbon, and we look forward to having you guys there. And we also have invited past council members and the former mayor in order for them to be there, because it's a project that we all cohesively have worked together to get it where it needs to be. All right. So next thing is the committee chair roundtable discussion will take place on January 27 from 5 to 6:30. This is a city event. And we basically are going to be asking the co-chairs of every committee to just join in a meeting and basically get to meet each other, talk about the projects they're working and how we can collectively work forward. And this also gives a sense to our city manager who leads the efforts with our team in order to make sure that he gets a sense of, what's definitely going on, the support that they need. And at the same time, getting the chairs to know each other in that capacity. Plenty of people have been volunteering in various positions, but I don't think they necessarily know who's chair of X and Y committee. So we want to make sure that we go back to having them come together and just get one another. It's more of like a networking meet and greet and, feedback on, when it comes to the city and the committees. All right. Mount Rainier Day is scheduled for May 16th at the Nature Center. All right. The other thing to work, and there's a bunch of events in the meantime. We want to make sure you knew at least Mount Rainier Day is one of our biggest events. The other thing to point out, the waste management schedule is in the website. I know some of you guys have been reaching out to figure out when trash, recycle, compost is going to happen, especially with holidays and stuff like that. Go to the City of Mount Rainier website, type waste schedule 2026, and it'll give you that information, including when you could discard, bring your trees, your natural trees, without any utensils or anything, to like the curb, right? So on January 13 and 27, that's when the trees are gonna be that's when the trees are going to be picked up, all right? And they are going to be compost. So remember, no lights, no tinsels, no nothing attached to them in order to make the job very easy. So compost day is going to be one day. The trees is going to be on 2 different locations. And the city will continue putting information out. I already shared in my social media, but it is in the city official website. So that way, when in doubt, when it comes to holidays, when it comes to stuff like that, you could definitely go there. The other thing I want to thank our wonderful staff. For Christmas, we managed to give more than 400 food baskets. It took a lot of time from all of us when it came to the whole entire staff, a lot of volunteers in order to make this happen. More than 350 toys were also given out as well. And we have continued finding ways to help our community through the various times that we're facing, but also make sure that we're celebrating together. So to our wonderful city staff, thank you for all the hard work you do in making sure all of this happen. Our police department also held a shop with a cop for kids, and a lot of kids got also toys, right? Thank you also to the Rainier Fire Volunteer Department for once again hosting the Santa and the fire truck in our police department for escorting them. We're very thankful for the collaboration we continue to have. So it's been a long journey, but here we are. Welcome to 2026. And last but not least, a big congratulations to our new council member at large from the county, Walla Bengay. Her swearing in was Monday. I was very honored to represent the city at her event, and find ways to continue collaborating with the new position Walla has. She was former District 6 council member. Now she is council member at large, so she represents us along with Joeline Ivy and Juanica Fisher. So a pretty strong power team of strong women representing us in the council. And last but not least, a big shout out to Speaker Jocelyn Peña Melnick, becoming the first Afro-Latina immigrant Speaker of the House of Delegates for Maryland. Next week is the legislative open session, and we look forward to figure out how much work we're going to be doing with the different legislators in order to advocate for our residents in Rainier. So stay tuned, but we're looking forward to working with the whole entire team of legislators, various positions change, and it should be a great opportunity to get to meet a couple of new legislators and some that have been around for a bit. So very honored to have joined the sworn in as well. So I think those are the two people that got recently that representing us that got sworn in. So congratulations to both of them. We continue looking as a city, how do we continue working along with them and the great things they're going to bring to Prince George's County in the state. All right, so perfect. So moving on to item number 4. Presentation from Anacostia Trails Heritage Area, ATHA, 20 minutes. The Mayor and Council receive a presentation from Ms. Megan Bacon. Megan, I always butcher your last name. So we'll receive a presentation from Megan Biko, Executive Director from the team of the Anacostia Trail Heritage Area. So Valerie, I know you wanted to make sure you said something. Go ahead.
Yes,
before that.
Mayor, if it's okay, I would like to recuse myself from this discussion.
Yes, please do so. Thank you so much, Valerie. So Valerie will be recusing, so be aware that I will not be calling on Valerie for any feedback or questions until this item is done, in order to respect the fact that there will be no conflict of interest. Okay. All right. So Megan, it's always wonderful to see you. The great work that you do for not just us, because you have advocated, help us with funding, but the all-around greatness you do for the county to make sure that sustainability is like number one, green initiatives over there, and walkability. And I will not give you a presentation, but it's an honor to have you here. Thank you for taking your time. And do you need an ability for us to be able to screen share, or you're good?
Well, thank you very much for that, Mayor Benitez. Yes, I have a short presentation, and it looks like I was granted hosts or co-host privileges, so I will get that up now. Just a moment.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you, Melissa. So just I talk a little bit to give you a little time to give him the possibility. All right, Megan, the floor is yours.
Okay, well, thank you again for the opportunity to speak at this city meeting. My name is Megan Bacco, and it's a joke I've made before, but it's to pronounce my last name, it's Baco like taco. So hopefully, Mayor, you will get a chuckle when you think of that next time, and don't worry about the pronunciation. I'm the executive director of Anacostia Trails Heritage Area. We are also known as Maryland Milestones, and you'll see that name on some signage. And then also our acronym ATHA. So any of those three words or turns of phrase that you've heard, that is a singular entity that I have the honor of being the executive director of. And I have a colleague on the call with me, and I'd like to give them the opportunity to introduce themselves.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Grace Harness, and I'm a program coordinator at ATHA through the Maryland Department of Service and Civic Innovation.
Thank you,
Welcome,
Grace.
Thanks for having us.
So, this presentation is a bit of an introduction or reintroduction of some of the work that we do. We've had a couple important years recently, and also, of course, looking forward to 2026 in terms of the U.S. semi-quincentennial. And I just wanted to get better at making sure that I was presenting in a more official fashion to all of the municipalities that we represent across the county, and just making sure that there's a face to the name of the organization, especially as we sometimes have part-time folks with us, or sort of Maryland Service Corps members. So we were founded as a nonprofit in the late 90s, specifically by sort of a community initiative of many of the municipalities along the Route 1 corridor, including Mount Rainier, to take advantage of a then new program called the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority. And that is a state program focused on cultural and heritage tourism that Maryland, New York, Pennsylvania, and Oregon are the only other states that have such a program. So where we may overlap with entities similar to Prince George's County Arts and Humanities, we're also different. And then a lot of our work is focused on residents, neighbors, and visitors. And so we're really focused on that tourism piece. It's important to make that distinction for me, at least because we work within that state framework. It's important to know that although we work within that, we are an independent organization. We have 2 full-time staff. We work countywide. So when we were first established, there was a boundary drawn around what was then considered the more historic areas of Prince George's County, focused on the Anacostia watershed and the Route 1 corridor. And we have loved working with all of those cities and towns and entities. But we also knew that we were sort of missing the whole story of connectivity across the county. And so we went through a relatively long process to change that state certified boundary. That happened in May 2025. And what that means is that our efforts and the funding that we are a liaison to from the state means that we can distribute that across all of Prince George's County. And really, to us, that's important. We want to exclude any barriers to participating in any of the programs that we put on, the events. And it also, in terms of sort of geographic growth, it was also important to make sure that we still stay as present and visible and reachable as we try to be to the towns that have been sort of with us from the beginning. So thank you for that. Some of the work that we do, I've mentioned, we are grant makers. We have, which I'll mention later in the presentation as well. And one of the main reasons why it's so exciting to be part of a heritage area is that municipalities and nonprofits in heritage areas have access to a specific pot of funding for cultural tourism that other areas in the state do not. And then also sometimes it gives you some bonus points for some other funding, whether that's from DHCD or Maryland Historical Trust or things like that. So if you want to talk, dollars and cents, it's one of the good sort of ROI parts of being part of our organization. We host some annual events and as well as special events. And one of the main ways we operate, because we have such a small staff, is through partnerships. We have some longstanding partnerships, and then sometimes we join a project that we're brought into, or we bring to other partners, and we sort of work through things that way. So that's a brief introduction to our organization. A term that I've been working through about, when people say, what do? I usually say we work in arts, history, culture, and nature. And that's very broad. And so I've been doing some research about heritage tourism and cultural tourism, and have found some new sort of terminology called community tourism. And I think it fits really well in Prince George's County because the goal of our organization is to have people perhaps be excited and go to one specific place, but also make sure to sort of get outdoors and then also visit other places, right? We don't really have some of those. We did have some of those large destinations, right? And what we want to do is really focus on the fact that if you're visiting, even if it's from the next county over, if it's from Baltimore, if it's from Virginia or DC, really to give people an opportunity to sort of understand how our communities work together and how and why they may look different or how or why they're connected. So to really give people the best sense possible of the wonderful places that we live and work. So that term community tourism, I think, is something I've been thinking about. And I think that the heritage area will start to use a little bit more. So I just wanted to sort of provide you with that new buzzword. And it's really about making sure that we're leveraging any programs or funding for visitors, but making sure that those funds are benefiting residents as well. And not vice versa. So we're really trying to make sure that anything we can do benefits the community and visitors sort of in parity. So some examples of sort of these broad projects that we work on. We have for many years, and probably one of the founding things that our organization did is work on the War of 1812 and the Battle of Bladensburg. A lot of the signs, the visitor center, a lot of still even the brochures that are out and about today, 10, 15 years later, are something that we produced during the 200th anniversary of the War of 1812. We've also done research and have a tour of women's suffrage sites. We recently received funding from the National Park Service to work on signage and a bilingual website about civil rights history. So these are projects that are often grant funded, and then we absolutely do our best to make sure that we can continue to add to them, so we don't have to like sort of close the book once that funding ends. And that's something that we've been able to do with the Civil Rights Trail. So Grace, if you wouldn't mind, actually, if you can put the Civil Rights Trail website in the chat, that would be super helpful. Folks, don't get too distracted, but it is a great website and we'd love to update. Trail connectivity, this will be no surprise to anybody, is that we're really focused on doing our absolute best to activate, extend, enhance the trolley trail to the best of our ability. We recognize the value that it brings to residents and visitors. We love it as much as everybody else does. Our organization helps put on Trolley Trail Day. We also last November and then I think this October had some other sort of extension related events. I know we're all desperately waiting for the feasibility study to come out. And so I'll sort of leave it at that, knowing that there's many of you on the call who are aware of that project. And then also as it relates to trails, we've been involved in trails as big as Greenbelt East Trail and everything that they're trying to do. And then also Dueling Creek Trail, which is really just trying to update that ramp near Dueling Creek and Colmar Manor. So trails, walkability, safety, we're also very involved in that. We're involved in public art. We've been funders and partners on many murals and sculptures. And Certainly you all know about placemaking, and we've been supportive of Neighborhood Design Center and their placemaking conferences and just that sort of wonderful hub of activity in Mount Rainier. So that's another thing that we work on in partnership with our colleagues. And then here's something that I really wanted to share is that my background happens to be in historic preservation. And one of the main things that I, really wanted to bring to this position and to really grow is our ability to make a bigger difference in preserving capital buildings, especially our small scale commercial buildings. Don't ask me why, but I love them. And I've just seen too many along Route 1 sort of come down for less than a good reason. And I really think it's what makes, partially Route 1 and Rhode Island Avenue just such a wonderful sort of corridor. So again, my background's in historic preservation. I'm aware of a lot of programs related to historic preservation and capital improvements. So congratulations on Potts Hall. So you all obviously are on the end of that. So projects like that we do like to be involved in. Unfortunately, we weren't able to directly fund that project, but I did take a great site visit. So as things like that come up, please let me know. Definitely want to do more of that to preserve the character of the Route 1 neighborhoods. Of course, it's 2026. Happy New Year. It is the semi-quincentennial year. If you're not a history nerd like me and you didn't know about it until this year, you will start to see America 250 on advertisements for Jeep and the NFL on CBS and other places. There is a state commission, the Maryland 250 Commission. I think maybe the closest neighbor that you all might know who serves on the state commission is Mayor James from Bladensburg. So a great connection there in terms of how we're going to be regionally involved. The Heritage area has been meeting for over a year with historians and librarians and our Parks and Recs folks from MNC PPC and PG Parks, students, artists, all sorts of different people to decide together and create a framework for how we think Prince George's County should potentially commemorate, the past 250 years of history. There's only one Revolutionary War battlefield in Maryland. We're not particularly known like we were for history related to the War of 1812, although many Marylanders served very well in New York and New Jersey. There were just not many here in Maryland. So we're really taking a wide view on that. We're putting together a genealogy workshop series. We are, of course, having bike rides and boat rides to take advantage of all of our trails and natural assets. And then we're hosting a public block party, which is, we're excited about it. It's going to be full of arts and music and performances, and that's going to be taking place in Bowie on May 30th, sort of as one of the keystone events of the county celebration for the semi-quincentennial. We are going to be meeting. We meet once a month in a hybrid fashion. Everybody's open to the planning meetings. Again, Grace, if you wouldn't mind, unless you probably already beat me to it, putting the link in the chat, that would be really helpful. All are welcome to participate in that. And this is my last slide, and then I'm happy to take any questions you all might have. So I've mentioned a couple times how we operate in terms of grant making. So each year, there is a state funding mechanism called Program Open Space. Program Open Space is funded by real estate transfer taxes and is largely distributed to state programs and projects related to the natural environment. For instance, a large portion of it, don't ask me how much, goes to the Department of Natural Resources. Some of it also goes to the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority. Each year, that number is about $6 million. So of that $6 million, about over 5 million of it is available for project grants. So that means that the portion that isn't given back out as grants is used to administer at the state level. That's for grant administrators, program administrators, and then the rest of it is available to projects related to community tourism, either at the town, municipal level, or nonprofits. So I know that you all have applied in the past. I encourage you to think about projects that you may be eligible for again. So that would be capital up to 100,000 and non-capital up to 50,000. The grants are currently open now. They've just actually had a webinar earlier today, the state employees who manage the program. So if you have projects that you think might be a good fit, we literally exist to help people access this funding. So please keep that in mind. And that is open now. There will be a letter of intent due in February, and then the full grant in March. And then lastly, we receive some block funds from the state that then we redistribute in much smaller grants, mini grants, rocket grants, seed grants, whatever you want to call them. And that's up to 5,000 for non-capital projects. So those are sort of just good ideas where you need a little bit of funding to make them happen, whether it's a special event, public art, new signage, research, special event, something like that. So keep that in mind also as things come up. And, worst case, just sort of let us know about the project. And if we can't fund it, we're also aware of other funding sources, sort of in that arts, history, culture, nature sort of vein of things. So like I said, that was my last slide. And, for some, this is probably too much information if you've been working with us for many years. Otherwise, I hope it was a great sort of reintroduction. Obviously, I'm excited about all the work that we do in this special year. So thank you for having me, and thank you for your support of our heritage area, through the years. And anything you can do to, just let people know that we are a resource. Always happy to take anybody's phone call or email. And I'm also happy to take any questions that the mayor or council may have today.
Thank you so much. If I read it in Spanish, I probably remember how to say your last name because you associate it with taco. So it'll be Baco, but I kind of tried to do it in English or variation or whatever I think it is. But I got it, Baco. I'm going to add it in my phone as such as well, Meg. All right, so perfect. So we have how much time left on the clock, Millie? Yeah, about 3 to 4 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. So I'll go around, Council, and if we need to have more time, be conscious that we only have 3 minutes on the clock, okay? All right, so I'm going to start with Joseph.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Baco. I'd say I've been following y'all's work for ages. I have my original Trolley Trail shirt and really enjoyed the activity last Trolley Trail Day where you could see the trolley going up through the historic videos. That was really great. The one thing I would love is for this new trolley trail to come down here. And I know that Councilmember Woodall, who I know can't talk right now for obvious reasons. I know she's been working very hard to make that happen, and I hope you guys can work with us to get the trolley trail coming down. This would be a much safer way to get up to Hyattsville. And thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you, Danielle.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. I mean, I've heard about you guys off and on for years and years, even when I was doing stuff with recreation. It's like, what did he do? But watching you, my husband is an avid, well, he was an avid biker until he stopped riding over the last 6 months, but he loves riding the trails. I'll go out and walk some of them with them. So it's been really nice. So we enjoy and we've enjoyed the benefits of what your work has done. And we look forward to seeing more in and I concur with Joseph. I'd love to see it brought all the way down here. So thank you guys so much for coming.
Okay, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you for the presentation. I was wondering, I know you had said that this was a personal interest of yours, but small businesses and preservation of them. We have a lot of small businesses that are in our historic downtown core. Are they able to access grant funding through you guys? I assume not, but I'm wondering if that might be a possibility.
Sure. So great question, Councilmember. Thank you. The funding that we have available that we sort of rely on each year that, we know comes up annually. No. So would not be something that a small business could use. I have seen partnerships take place in the Gateway Arts District where a business greatly benefited, sort of being as the build out tenant of a property that was owned by a nonprofit for example. Prince George's County is unique in the fact that the County Historic Preservation Commission does have a grant program that private property owners are eligible for that is unique across counties and even states. So that is atypical. So I would say look into that funding. And then I have been in a couple of.
Stop making, but wrap up your answer. But Council,
That's
can I
fine.
get 3 minutes
I'm
on
happy
the clock,
to-
please? Hold on, just
I'm happy to
let me
follow
give you
up.
more time. Can I have 3 minutes on the clock?
Seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Any objections? Discussion, abstentions? Hearing none, we have 3 more minutes. Sorry, Meg, I just didn't want to cut you off, but I tried to be respectful of time. So go ahead. You were talking about the historical grants.
Yes, so Historic Preservation Commission at the county is going to be one of your best bets for that. And then also creating a partnership with a nonprofit in some way. More than happy to talk through specific properties with you on that.
Thank you.
Okay. So, I think I already said what I had to say. I think it's been a great partnership. Something that I'm very always happy about, past councils like their visionary, believe in, finding ways to bring together the things that we value in common and leverage our support. When the trolley trail was starting, in the other cities, Mount Rainier was very supportive of them and saying, yes, we know what is needed, right? The same way we have also asked for their support and we'll be asking for their support to make sure it comes through. But it takes definitely a vision for people to say hey, we're trying to stay connected, and whether we could, advocate to we're green to bike and walk and run around, and be more green, right? But if we do not provide the infrastructure, it limits heavily what we could do. Right. So we have a lot of stories now, in Route 1 more than we had before. But if we don't have access to get to them, it makes it a little bit hard. Or even the parks, the locations. And I think that heavily, I like to say, the Route 1 corridor has been very key and thinking forward when it comes to green spaces, public art and stuff. So now we're also working on how to connect ourselves in the multiple layers that we have, aside from the trolley trail, when it comes to the art, when it comes to the Gateway CDC, Gateway Development Center, all those organizations exist to bring us together. So we share and find ways to continue collaborating together. But in saying that, please continue counting on our support. If you guys need any letter to continue to advocate for your funding, we're always available. I think that at times, sometimes when we say hey, we go to Annapolis to advocate, this is the things we advocate for, right? Funding for organizations that helped us out, that we have been invested in years, right? And have made a big impact on it, because there's a deficit in the budget and cutting is everywhere. So we need to say this is what we need to make sure to protect, because we understand that even if the money doesn't come directly to Mount Rainier through organizations that comes from it, we partner and we get that funding as well from Mount Rainier and the whole entire area. So definitely we look forward to continue to collaborate and let us know when we need to go advocate also for funding, because it's a great mission. So thank you for that. And time's up. All right. And you're welcome to keep joining us. So you could go home and rest. I know you have 1,000 projects to work on. Thank you so much. And we always submitting grants, because we love submitting grants. That's what we do. All right. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Good night. All right. Okay, let me see. Sorry, guys. The letters are getting smaller by the second. It's been a long day of work. All right. Presentation of building application for 3803 32th Street. On Rainier, Maryland. Mayor Council received a presentation from the owner of 3803 32nd Street in Mount Rainier, Maryland. So, Director Ferrufino, I know you are here. Can you give us a little bit of feedback and introduce who is here from the property?
Yes, good evening, city manager, mayor and council residents. Thank you for having us here one more time to do a presentation on the property 3803 32nd Street. I know that it's a project that has been going on for a couple of weeks now. And we needed to present. So we have here actually Mr. Zhang, who is the person working on this project. He can give us a little bit of feedback on what includes the project. Pretty much, I know that it's interior, exterior renovation, no structural changes, but I'm gonna let him do the presentation.
Thank you so much. So Mr. Sang, you're on the line. Please give us a brief information about what the project is, if there's interior, exterior work as well, and guide us through it. Go ahead.
Okay, hi, this is Wayne Zhang, and I'm the house owner of this property. And I can show you the plan, and probably it's better to understanding what is going on. Basically, let me share.
Is there a specific page you want us to show on the screen?
Yes, the last. So,
Okay.
no, the existing plan. Go back. Yeah, probably this one. So basically, we have the 3 levels: basement and first level and attic. And the existing condition, existing features, we remove. Basically, we remove everything, and we'll put a new kitchen, new two bathrooms. And we will replace the existing windows, but with the same size. And we will replace the sidings. And this plan is the existing condition, and the next plan is the proposed condition. And right now, the roof has been placed, but the gutters have not yet been installed yet. And the windows, we replaced 2 or 3 windows already done. And framing of the additional bathrooms has been complete, and it's waiting for inspection. The electrical heavy up is already being complete and inspected by county. I think it's approved. It's passed the inspection. The electrical roof rough-in work and it's mostly complete, and it's just waiting for the inspection. And plumbing rough-in is being complete and is passed the inspection by WSSC. And mechanical venting rough-in is mostly done, but it's waiting for the inspection. And that's the things. That's the case. So basically, we do the interior renovation. The existing drywalls, we are not planning to remove it, just unless that's necessary by the installation or the vending or installation of wiring. So anywhere we will remain, anywhere the existing drywalls will be remain, and we probably will overlay another new drywall on top. So that's the main, that's the basic. We are going to do a complete renovation job, interior renovation job.
Is there any exterior work that's going to be done?
Exterior, we sell the siding. We probably will do the siding wise. Yes, we were going to do the siding, not the structure exterior. The siding, probably we will make it much nicer siding. And also I'm still thinking probably the porch, but we're not doing a structure wise. We probably repainting or change the rail or whatever, but it's going to be the cosmetic work.
Okay. Alma, is there any permits that have been given to the county?
So all permits have been approved by the county. Right now,
Mhm.
everything that they're doing is within the scope of work that they were approved.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Joseph, can you please give the Luke Bryan / Spield? So I know you said you're gonna do minimal work outside, but we always give the spiel to make sure that those that are coming in front of us are aware. I know our director gave it to you, but we also want to make sure it's like that it's on record. So go ahead, Joseph.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad you're bringing this house back from the brink. Mr. Zhang, even though you started, I want to remind you of a few local rules so that you can be a good neighbor throughout your project. You probably heard this from code enforcement already, but as the mayor said, we wanted to make sure you're aware. First, we have a noise ordinance, section 10-121. So please limit construction activities to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to avoid violating it. Second, we do have a tree ordinance, section 12B-7. The ordinance protects private trees 56.5 inches or more in circumference as measured as 4.5 feet above the ground. If you plan on doing anything with a tree of that size, even if it's in bad condition, you must talk to code enforcement. You also need to make sure any tree prunings are reviewed. Finally, take care when digging, moving, or grading soil to prevent stormwater from running into your neighbor's yard or that rain garden at the end of your block. And when in doubt, make sure you call Alma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so basically, when in doubt, just call Alma, and she'll be the one to guide you through the process. Thank you, Joseph, for like reading that one. All right, so I'm gonna go through council to see if they have any questions for you or any comments. Okay. Can you go ahead? Thank you, Melly. All right, so also please note that Councilmember Woodall has physically returned back to the meeting, and make sure there's a note obviously on the record that she abstained herself and removed herself from the meeting and came back. Okay. So for record keeping, thank you, Melissa. All right, so Valerie, I'm gonna go with you first. Go ahead.
No, thank you, and thank you for investing in this property. I think my only question is, do you plan to live in the home, or is it going to be sold after renovations or rented?
Good question, and I'm planning to rent investment purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny, Danielle, Joseph.
欢迎. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I concur with Joseph. Thank you so much for taking a property here in the city and rehabilitating it. It means a lot to us. And it's funny, I just want to point out that the spiel that you gave, the originator of the spiel is actually here. Brian Nedler is in the audience. I hope that Joseph lived up to his expectations. But thank you so very much.
Thank
and
you.
I look forward to watching the renovation.
Thank you.
Hey, Joseph.
Nothing additional, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Anything else to add, Alma?
No, Mayor, nothing else to be added to that.
Okay, the other thing, just a reminder, make sure you post your permits to avoid, and I think in the nicest way that was expressed, if we get a call gets also a called, and neighbors do call us to let us know work started before 8 a.m. or if there is any changes as well. All right, so please be respectful of the neighbors, and you'll have even a happier time in the city. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, can we work on Sunday? Between 8 to 8.
Yes, so just respect
That's
the
8
hours.
to 8. Okay,
Yep.
okay. All right. Thanks.
You could work on Sunday, but definitely respect the time. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay,
I
so
was-
talk to Alma further when it comes to the follow-up permit, you know? Okay.
Yeah, because sure. It was the first time to join those kind of meeting. I was scary. Oh, I thought it's join in front, present in front of city or council. And then what is going on? Because okay, but thank you. Well, you guys very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, and then please reach out. We're here to help and provide any information. It is a lot of times this meeting is more for the residents to be aware that work is going to be happening, right? So that way they know who you are, the work that's happening, and if they have questions, they could also reach out and stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
but thank you for joining us, and I'm glad they didn't think it was that scary. We appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, because we're not too many inspectors, so they are different. But thank you. Okay.
All right. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Have a good night. You're welcome to stay or you could go and rest. It's fine. Okay. So moving on to item number 6, City Manager's report. Mr. Kamali, our City Manager, will present the report to Mayor and Council and the community. Hello, Mr. Kamali. I know you do this on the legislative session. So here we are again. Happy New Year's. Go ahead.
Right. Hello, Mayor and Council and everyone that's joining us tonight. I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. And I'm going to present last month actually, what we did in December to Mayor and Council and the community. And at the end of this slides, if anybody has any question, I'll be glad to answer. So starting with the weekly meeting, every week I have a meeting with the department heads in order to get an update and resolve and any concerns, any issues that we can, discuss it and resolve it as soon as possible. Next item, as you know, that the Mayor and Council approved the budget calendar last month, and then I gave it to all the department heads and the committees. And the deadline was December 31st. I have received everyone's, proposed FY27 budget, except the CERT. So I do appreciate Council Member Carter if she can talk to them and let them know that we need to get that information as soon as possible. And once we got all this proposed budget, I start reviewing it with the department heads. Then I have my meeting with the finance team. And then we are scheduled to bring it to Mayor and Council, submit it to Mayor and Council on February 13, and present it, I believe, on the Tuesday 17, if I'm not mistaken. So that's for FY27, and we just finished the audit. Now we have a big task, which is coming up with FY27 and make sure that we have a balanced budget and without cutting any services. Next project, as you know, that it's Potsol. This project has started in 23, and finally, I'm glad that it's over. To be honest with you, I can sleep, better, and I'm not worried about this project anymore, because getting the UNO, it took us almost 3-4 months, and finally we got the final UNO permit from the county on December the 3rd, and right away I had the staff to start, packing and moving, and I do appreciate Public Works and everyone that helped us to move to the old City Hall and new Potsol. And as you know that I've been, we're working, we still have some items that is not finished. Please be advised that, here and there, we're working and trying to correct some issues. And especially the council chamber is not ready yet because still working on the IT regarding recording and streaming and buying new furnitures, and hopefully we're hoping to get everyone squared away end of February, because the furnitures and the dice that we are buying, we're not gonna receive them till middle of February. Then, as you know, that everybody knows, tomorrow is a ribbon cutting, and we do appreciate everyone to attend at January 7 at 11 a.m. Going to the next project is the Newton Street. Newton Street was one of the ARPA project. In fact, is the last ARPA project that I have. And as you know, that deadline for the ARPA to finish is December 31st, 26. This project is almost 80% complete. Due to the cold weather, we had to stop the rest of the project, which was resurfacing, speed humps, landscaping, and we're hoping to schedule it. We already scheduled it for spring, but it depends on the weather. So, and I'm not gonna do it in the cold weather because the quality of the work is gonna be very important for us. Melissa, can we go to the next slide, please? I'm sorry, I'm reading it from my own. All right, so next we have all the SS4 projects. As you know that it's the city received 9.7 and this from the federal US DOT, and we're putting 20%. And we're working on, we got close to 9 to 10 projects. And right now, some of the projects are in the design phase and some of them went to construction, but we had to pause at some point because of the cold weather. So the good news is 3 of the projects that I got 4 under design, and I just received 3 of them that the design has been completed, which is Levee Crossing and Bunker Hill Road, 35th Street and 36. And the Food Forest and 31st Street is scheduled for January 14th. And I'm going to start working with the city attorney to come up with the bid documents, and then we're gonna post it to get the contractor on board and hopefully schedule this project for a spring or whenever the weather is gonna allow us to start the construction. At the same time, every quarter we have to give the Federal Highway Department the quarterly report. And also we have the annual report, which is the annual report is due January 25th. We got the draft ready and we're just, reviewing it with the tool design, and hopefully we're gonna send it as soon as possible. And at the same time, I got tool design working on the safe road to school, and which is Thomas Stone and Mount Rainier Elementary School. The conversation has been established with the school and PTOs, and so hopefully we're going to get this to design soon and start building the projects as soon as possible. Next project in SS4A is high visibility crosswalks, and that project we paused, but we spent close to $530,000, and the good news is we send the invoices to the county, to the state, and we got the full reimbursement in December. So that's the good news, that our money is secured and we're not gonna be worried that much. And the same thing for the sidewalk maintenance. That project is a big project too, and I left the information in case if the council want to share it again. That project is paused again due to the cold weather, and hopefully we come back in the spring and start doing more sidewalk. I'm sure everyone is waiting to know about the stop sign cameras. We got the permission from the state from the Federal Highway. And right now, in fact, we had a meeting with the vendor before the holiday, and they're working on the contract, the draft, that is going to come to me and the city attorney. And once it's finalized, it's going to take, for your own information, between now and 90 days to install the cameras. And I will keep you guys posted regarding the location, the approved location by the county. We got 16 locations, and we're not going to be able to have 16 cameras, but right now we're talking to the vendors, see how many we can have, and based on the grant that we have, because we got only $500,000, and then we're gonna rotate the cameras because we don't want people to know that this intersection has a camera. So the cameras will be rotating between the intersection, which I will come up with more information in the next report, because right now I'm working with the vendor and trying to find out what's going on and how we can utilize the $500,000. The solar panel is the state grant that we got. All the buildings are finished mechanically and the inspection have been done. The only thing that is left, we need to get the permit from Pepco to operate and bring the hot salt in service. The rest of the buildings, as you see in my report, are in service and we are generating clean energy. Then we have another project which is on 31st and Perry, which is a state grant, and this is $530,000. We finished phase 1. I've been working with LID Center, Low Impact Development Center, as a consultant. We just received phase 2 before the holiday, and phase 2, as you know, that we had a community conversation and is based on the feedback that we received from the community. And I'm planning to work with the city attorney to come up with the bid documents and then post it, get the contractor, and start building this project and get it over as soon as possible in the spring or summer. Facade improvement and mural projects. So the last item that is left for the facade improvement is the canopy for Nisi's store, which I talked to the contractor last week. They promised me they're gonna finish it in the next 2 weeks. Once it's finished, and we have to go after our reimbursement with the state. And regarding the mural on 34th Street, I'm sure that you have received the information and the selection that was selected by the feedback from the community. And I talked to the artist last 2 days ago, and he's supposed to send me some information in order to finalize his contract with the city attorney and having me start working on that mural on 34th Street, 4000 block, Mustafa's or Zizi's location. Zizi Pizza, I'm sorry. The last item in my slide is the grant activities. As you know that we have a grant writer and he is very active right now. I have him work on the quarterly report and annual report. And this report will be reviewed by the city manager and tool design, because we want to make sure that we cover every aspect of the compliance that is required by US DOT. And at the same time, he submitted the final design, because we received the final design for the levee trail. And because we have $75,000 grant from the state, so we had to forward the design to them, and we're going to use that $75,000 as our 20% match for that project. So that's a good news that the state got the final design and we're ready to go. And also at the same time, we had to give them a quarterly report. And DHCD facade improvements and mural, I had the grant writer to get in touch with our contact at DHCD because we eliminate that position. So I want to make sure that we're going to take care of everything on the main street and the future grants that we're going to apply for it. Right now, we got $100,000 that was approved. And this is another $100,000 facade improvement for commercial district, which we're going to update you guys and give you more information as we move forward. Right now, we haven't received any grant agreement, so we have to receive the grant agreement and then move forward. Thank you for being patient with me. if you have any question, I'll be glad to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Kamali, for your report to the community. Mayor Council also receives a report in between the meetings as well. So thank you so much for that. All right, so Mayor and Council, I'm gonna open it to the rest of you guys. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, address it to Mr. Kamali. Okay, regarding his report. Any follow-up and feedback, you guys know how to get a hold of him as well. All right, so Jenny, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Kamali. As you well know, I have been very impatient for Potts Hall to get finished. I fail to understand why we didn't order the furniture previously. And I cannot express how frustrated I am that we are not meeting in person yet. And frankly, the council rules require meeting in person. And to my knowledge, we have been violating them for the past 5 years. And I really am tired of waiting, and obviously had to wait for the U of O. But can you explain to me why we have to wait even longer?
Well, the reason that, first of all, the council chamber had to be finished because we had to measure the radius and the dimension that we need. And let me just, make sure that you're not blaming 5 years on me because we had COVID. And I've been only 2 years that it's not in person. So I just wanted everyone to know.
I'm not.
No,
It's my
it's
general
all right. It's
frustration.
okay. It's all right. And let me tell you this, the plan that it was to put the furniture and other stuff in the council chamber, if I wanted to go with the old plan, it would cost the city more than $100,000. So I had to shop around and find a good price. And unfortunately, because of the back orders, sometimes people were not responding. Finally, we found somebody that is not in this state, and I got for a good price, but it's going to take 2 months. And I think the city will be better off for another 2 months, not to pay extra $50,000. And let me tell you this, once you work on the construction, a building that was already in place, going back and demolish everything, you don't know what we have gone through for past 2 years. So I do appreciate, and I appreciate your question, but I want to let you know that sometimes, and I am only one person, please understand that. I don't have a city assistant, city manager assistant. I'm doing all this project that was presented to you guys tonight. And I do appreciate, put yourself in my position that I have to do so many things at the same time. And that was one of the biggest project, that $7 million project. It's not really an easy process. At the same time, I've done so many projects. Memorial Park, $1.5 million. Newton Street, close to $1 million. So I do appreciate that. And I wish I could have done it, but it was impossible. Look, getting a permit from the county, it took me only 6 months. And believe it or not, you knew about this and you were on some of the communication. Sometimes it is, I'm sorry, with all due respect, it is easy said than done. So I do appreciate, please be patient with me and I will get it done. And we're trying to do it with the good quality and a good price for the city because the budget was limited too. And I think one of the reasons, before I forget, I'd like to let everybody know that we applied for $647,000 with DHCD. Unfortunately, that was not approved. Our application was rejected. So right now, finding that money, even though this is the city hall project, but what I'm trying to say, I was in the tough position to make that decision, and because the original plan was calling for $100,000 furniture over there, and I was not able to do it. I hope that I answered your question.
You
Thank you,
did.
Mr. Kamali.
Thank you.
So also to just be clear, we have not been out of compliance, meaning virtually, because I mean that everything we have voted and done is not in compliance as well. The previous council made a decision to not invest heavily into the temporary building because it was going to cost us over $100,000 to equip temporarily a building that would not allow us to even have people in person because it's a very small spot. We managed to have, I think, at the Mary Myers building, a few meetings for budget reasons, and just between the staff and communications, we couldn't even have community members on it. So we, the council felt at the time that any penny we could save in order to put into the new building, including new equipment, was going to be head towards that direction. That's the reason why we did not meet at the Miles building. Is we didn't have the room. That's basically like the issue that we face. Okay, so in saying that, can I have, go ahead, Joseph.
Well, I'm up next. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Kamali. I would love to go through line by line and tell you how great all the work you're doing is. But I'm pretty sure Mayor Benitez will start hitting her watch. So I am just going to jump to a question. Now, I know there's probably some folks on that are going to be talking about a different business that I'm going to be asking my question about, but I will say that other business that I'm sure some of the public comments going to be out is very important to me as well. But mine was about some of the businesses I talked to on 34th Street were concerned about how the parking meters were removed. And I think it was the report you provided 2 months ago said that now would be about the time that the parking meters were going to be reinstalled. And I didn't see that on this report. So I wanted to ask what the status was on that and when we can expect to see our fancy new Parkmobile app.
Well, the reason that I didn't put that one in because we have a weekly meeting with the Park Mobile and Cardinal. And right now I got the police department going through that process. And what they promised us at the beginning that it's going to be faster than what we thought. But right now we have received all the signs for the parking areas that, that we're going to have the signs, but we are waiting for the program to be installed. And unfortunately, this is something that we have to wait until the program is going to be there, is going to be happening. It's, but I'm trying to do my best. I'm sorry. And the reason is because this program is a little bit, sophisticated. And so we're working with the vendor right now. We have a weekly meeting and the staff have to be trained, chief press and police clerk and assistant chief on those calls and myself. And it's not really something that somehow I want to say that the process is taking a longer time than we thought. And probably the communication of the vendor. And I did inform the vendor that that was not really a good call because what they did, they told us at the beginning is going to be a good, very fast process. But unfortunately, right now I'm trying to get it done as soon as possible.
I appreciate it, Mr. Kamali. Thank you.
But I'm sorry, I will have it in the next report. I'm sorry. I just, somehow, I don't know.
You got a lot going on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's fine. So definitely what I was going to ask, just to add it to the report, even if it's just like, meeting and stuff. So we know it's the backlog of trying to get us across, So at least we know that it's there in case we need to check up on it or get more feedback and information. All right, Valerie, go ahead.
Great. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Kamali, for all the work you're doing. I know you have a lot on your plate, and I know that a lot of things are happening for the positive in the city. So thank you for that. I am very excited to see that the tool design of 31st Street and the Food Forest is coming out on January 14th. And I hope that there will be a good public discussion once the design is released in that area, because I know that's an area that people have been wanting to talk about for a while. So I don't have any other questions than that, but I am excited to see that come out soon. So thank you.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something, Mr. Kamali. All right,
No.
and so on when it comes to me, I'm definitely looking forward to having all of our buildings with solar panels. You know, I think that's something that originally the first team that put the solar panels in our city hall, that if I remember correctly, I was told we're like the first city to do it, right? You know, they were again visionaries, right? But I think the fact that we managed to say like, hey, we want to make sure that between originally we had said ARPA fundings, and then it was also grant that we move forward, right? It helped. I'm sorry, Danielle, did I miss you? You were
You
so
did.
quiet. Go ahead.
You did.
Go ahead.
Thank you for recognizing. Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Kamali, real quick before I ask you my question, the START team, I noticed that on your report, and I called, and Melissa said that they don't need any more money. They're not asking for any more money other than what their resolution allots them every year. So they didn't submit any new budgetary requirements or requests. They said just what's in their resolution will suffice for this coming year.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My question is, there are people here in the audience who are here probably more than likely for this, but I am quite concerned about a situation that was just brought to the council's attention yesterday through numerous emails that started in the afternoon. And as of this minute, I've been watching them continue to come in. I think we're closing in on 40 emails at this point. As a Ward 1 representative to both the businesses and the business owner as a resident, I am concerned that everything that was done to prevent this situation from going to this level where the city has referred to the city, if I may. I have two questions.
Danielle, can I ask you a question before you continue? Is you have any comments regarding what Mr. Kamali presented? So make sure like I separate two things. Is there any feedback you have regarding what he presented in the documents that he has in front of him?
No, this is about an ongoing situation that was brought to our attention. It is a situation that should be discussed in public. The city manager is here for our questions, and I'm going to ask him this question. I do have two questions, but I'm going to ask them at the same time and give you time to answer both of them. First, in the situation with this business, the parking lot, were mediation services offered to the resident and the business owner to mitigate the situation? That's my first question. And second, did you as a city manager or one of your designated staff investigate the petition to make sure all signers were 18 years or older and that 60% threshold was met? And when I say the 60% threshold, I refer to the only instances in the city code where petitions are mentioned. And in each of those instances, a threshold of 60% of the residents of the street, or in this case, probably the immediate affected surrounding areas, must be met to move forward with any petition request. If you did not confirm these two things, did you or a designated member of your staff reach out to speak with the residents who signed the petition to confirm their signature and complaint before moving forward with the drastic actions that the city took? I know that's a lot, but I'm sure you understand, because I have forwarded you many of those emails, that it is a serious situation that as representatives of Ward 1 and the city, we definitely need to discuss. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Mayor and council, I would appreciate that. If I had known that, I would, I think we need to go to a different meeting than this meeting and have my director of code enforcement to be there, because she has forwarded you the information this afternoon. And some of the information, I want to let everyone know that because of the investigation right now by the county is going on, there is a court date for next Thursday. We cannot release those information because it's not public. I reached out to the city attorney this afternoon after you sent me more than 30 emails, and I want to bring something to your attention. All those emails that we received, they do not leave on that block except one email. Most of the email comes from the the city residents, and some of them in Hyattsville, in Brentwood. So we received a complaint from a resident, and the petition that was signed, it's a resident that live on 35th Street. I didn't know anything about it, and I do appreciate if you need any information like this, as you email me this afternoon, and my director right away responded to you. This information has been a PI request by the owner of the parking, and we have given them all the information. But this is something that everybody should know, that it's between the county and the information that the city rendered, and we are looking for the meeting next week. But if you need more information, I think, we need to have a community conversation, and I'll bring my team and the city attorney, and we'll be glad to respond to any question, any concerns that you have. And I'm sure the resident of 35th Street, the one that signed the petition, they're going to be there, and you're going to hear their voice. And tonight, you're asking me, I'm just the middleman between, somebody comes to us and complain. And let me tell you this, I personally, with the city staff, we were not able to open the windows in Melinda Miles building because of the dog barking. Look, I have a dog. I have a German Shepherd sitting right there next to me. I'm a dog lover. I'm a dog owner. I have nothing against that. But when residents come to us with a petition complaining about the nuisance, what we have to do, we have to be responsive to the residents. Please be advised that we did not issue any permit for that, that place. It's a county.
Can I put a pause, please, on it?
Yes.
Please just put a pause on it. One, if you have a questions to our staff member, please make sure you email them, for you to be able to on it. So I think that every single one of us received an email, because we're all copy on it, letting us know this is an active investigation by the county, and that's kind of where it's at right now. So in the future, we have said in the comments for mayor and council to make sure that we do not bring names of people, names of businesses, because we want to make sure that that is a standard rule. Danielle, you did receive the email that was sent that let us know that it was right now an investigation, correct?
Yes, that's why I asked
Okay.
Mr. Kamali.
So I wanna
asked
make.
me a question, excuse me.
Go ahead, Danielle.
I did, that's why I asked Mr. Kamali if there were any mitigation plans that they had tried to do beforehand as far as mediation. And I think that was a valid question, and I really would like an answer. And as a council member, I asked the question, and I feel that I am entitled to an answer. Thank you.
So Danielle, he gave you an answer. He said he's happy to go ahead and meet with you.
Excuse me, Selena, point of order. I asked Mr. Kamali, not you. I would like Mr. Kamali to answer the question.
You will answer the question.
Editorialize it. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor, please let me just respond. As I mentioned it, I need to have the director and see what is the status of. Look, I am not running the code enforcement. I have a director, and I do appreciate you guys allow me to have my team and call a meeting. We can be there and present all the evidence, and all the questions should be answered there. Tonight, I didn't know anything about this, that you're going to ask me those questions. You send an email at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right away, I forwarded to Alma, and Alma responded to you. Then I contacted the city attorney. I said, please, what should we do at this point? She told me, and I'm just going to say it on the record. She said, this is because it is not public yet. It is an investigation that county is looking into this information, and we are not able to give you more than what we gave the owner based on the request, that the PI request that she had. So I appreciate your question, but let's call a meeting. And Mayor, I don't mind to have a meeting with my team and the residents for both sides, because right now, I don't know what to say at this point. I need to get more information. And I had my team to send you the information this afternoon, but you were sending more than 30 emails from people from Hyattsville, from North, Brentwood, and 29 Shepherd. Look, they are just like, look, I use that place too. You can ask Heather. I put my dog over there and I paid for the overnight and I paid $60. I don't mind to have that place over there, but I'm sorry. The resident, they come to us and you need to talk to the resident that made that complaint and see that how many people signed, and we will let you know. And I will bring both sides together and then we sit down and I'll be glad to answer your questions.
Mr. Kamali, I am not, I wish you would understand, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to find an answer to a question. And
I don't think that's the right time to find the
You
answer,
guys,
with all
the
due
council is
respect.
not a position where you go back and forward. You ask a question, he
I
gave
asked
you an
a
answer.
question, the city manager
he
is
made-
not
okay.
answering it.
Danielle,
So I want that.
we're not doing this.
Thank
We're
you.
not doing this, okay? You also need to be respectful of the space. This was the report he gave. If you had a questions, you're more than happy to follow through. But at this point, it's like you have taken over the whole entire meeting. He gave you an answer. He said he's gonna follow up with you, with his team, in order to provide the answers that you're seeking. Either that or, I mean, unless you expect for him to basically he's telling you he's gonna provide the answer, just give him time. That's all he's asking. He's not trying to avoid your question, ignore your question. That's all he's saying. So I want to make sure that, and I want to make sure that we are very clear on that. But at this point, it's like, that's the reason why I asked, is this regarding in? If it's something that's completely separately, right? I think that Councilor Yakuta said, I have a concern, but I want to answer, this is going to move somewhere else as well. This could be brought up to a different meeting as a point added to an agenda if need be, right? Or a sit-along meeting like we've done in the past with other things. But I think he's being very clear and honest in telling you his team is going to get together and will be able to provide the information you're seeking out to what they're able to do. And
Okay,
I think
so
that you
I'm
don't want to
gonna
hear
call
it,
a
but
point
that's
of
exactly
order.
what he's saying.
I'm going to
Go
call
ahead.
point of order for personal privilege. At no time, and I want Mr. Kamali to understand that, at no time was I trying to attack you. I am coming to you, and
I'm not saying you were attacking me.
No. I know
Okay,
you
you
did
guys,
not.
please,
I
one
want to
mic
make that
only.
clear. Excuse me, point of order. I just want to make sure that those watching and the record understand that I was not attacking you. I'm asking genuine questions because this is covering our bases. You're the city manager. I understand your team. I saw Director Ferrafino is here. I didn't know if maybe you'd ask her to answer that question or not. I have a lot of constituents that are in Ward 1 who have sent a lot of those emails. And sir, as an elected official in Ward 1, I have to represent them, and my voice is their voice.
Point of information, you already made that clarity point, and it has to stop at this
you.
point. I want to make sure that nobody's saying you're attacking. We're just saying he's going to get with his team and provide the answers.
Again.
So in saying that, I think that we need to make sure we move to the next point. Okay? I think that for the rest of the council, if you have questions, please make sure you send it to Mr. Kamali. Obviously, we always ask to give the staff time to be able to answer you. So if you send an email today or yesterday, that's less than 24-hour turnaround for them to answer as they're preparing for this meeting, as they're preparing for ribbon cutting, as they're preparing, back from being also on a break. This is the winter time. It's like when the staff is able to take a little bit of break along with the summer. So just be patient. That's all that they're asking of. So I will say that there is public comment if the people want to speak. The other thing is like we all have gotten the emails, because if I'm correct, Council, you could show a hand if I think we all got the emails, correct? Jenny, Joseph, Valerie, yes? We all got the emails. We all got the information that was sent to us from the staff as well. I think we're all digesting and reading through it and and gonna do the follow-up questions that we need to. So I want to make sure we address a couple things. This is not that the staff or the other members of council are not interested in this answer, or they're not posting questions at this point. They just got the information and they're going through it, right? So I want to make sure that is clear. Nobody's trying to avoid answering or not. Various emails have come through, right? So we want to make sure, give time to due diligence for people to to go through them and for the staff to be able to provide whatever information they have, if they have additional information aside from the information they provide us on. So Heather, I did saw the FPI is like it's the FOIA request. So it's basically when you request information and it's given to you from the community. That's what it is. Freedom of Information Act. That's what it's called. You know, so usually like, you know, they send it out, no matter who you send it out, the clerk is the one that's like that leads those efforts, and they're the one that work with the team along with our city manager, obviously, and if required, like, you know, our legal team, in order to make sure they provide the information that they're able to provide. Okay, so I will ask a couple of things. I know we have, how do you call it? We have the next step on this is the public comment. Okay, so I have a question. Is there anybody that has a question specifically on the report that Mr. Kamali gave that is written presented to the community? Also be aware that the reports are posted in our city website as well. And therefore you could access them as well if need be, right? The community meetings are usually announced to the community in order for people of that neighborhood. Think that one of the things that the city has done pretty well is make sure that they go to the location where the project is going to take place and have various meetings with the residents so that way they have feedback specifically when it comes to it, okay? And I will tell you guys something. I think that, and I'll move on from this point on to move to the next item. I have not heard one person that is telling, at least me, or any email received or anything else that I've seen that has like advocated for closing a business, right? That is not what they have addressed. It's not what at least they have commented to me. I don't know about the rest of the team, but nobody has come to me and said, we want to make sure this business is closed. Residents have concerns, right? And I saw the emails. It's not just one resident, it's multiple residents, right? About it. And our job definitely, yes, is to hear, just is be able to gather the information we can, but also like there's sometimes things that we can do and cannot do, especially if it's an open investigation, and it ties our hands to make sure that we are being fair with the process, right? But right now it's like it always is, like it was like in various multi instances. I think that when it comes to anything the city does, there's like two groups that sometimes they all want the benefit and the best for the city. Sometimes how to get there or about it is sometimes what they differentiate a little bit. So it is one of those things we work through as hard as we can to maneuver. Okay, so I am gonna open the public comment session. If you guys wish to speak, I'll read you guys the spiels because we try to be fair to make sure everybody has the same opportunity. And I apologize. I grinned because it's, let me make the letters a little bit bigger. People that have glasses and readers definitely understand my pain. Okay, so rules for public comment. The mayor and city council invite and welcome comments at public meetings. The mayor or presiding officer will recognize you. Please introduce yourself first and last name for recording purpose, and give the names of your street and block number, 4300 block of 34th Street as an example. Please indicate in the chat whether you would like the mayor to read your comment or you will speak on your comment. If the mayor reads your comment, you will reserve as you it will serve as your allotted time. Like speaking time, public comment has a time limit of 3 minutes per speaker unless otherwise agreed upon by the mayor. While speaking, please maintain a courteous tone. Avoid personal attacks. If you wish to lodge a complaint about performance or conduct of any city employee, please bring your concerns to the attention of the city manager, who will look into the matter and respond to you. As a courtesy to other residents and businesses, the council requests that speakers not use a specific address or names of individuals when describing a situation or making a complaint, noting that block number is preferred over a specific address. Okay, so I'm gonna move it up. So I want to make sure that is clear. This is a spiel that we put in all of our agendas. There'll be a 3 minute. You will see if you don't have to speak for 3 minutes. You could speak less if you choose to. right? We ask that you please follow the guidelines. And the other thing is that, if you're running out of time, Melissa's gonna let you guys know in the chat. Make my life a little easier and wind yourself down if you see that it says like you have like a few minutes, few seconds to go, whatever it is, in order to make sure that we're able to do it. So let me look at the chat right now. I am so sorry, guys. Oof, there you go. Okay. All right. Let me see. It's, unfortunately, that's a rule that's been established when it comes to not naming the business name or not naming any other resident in order to make sure that we stay balanced, so that's more of the standard, because if people change their mind or if other people feel like we're not being fair, they definitely are not appreciative. So name, last name, block and street number. Okay, so I have first in line to speak Julie Chamberlain on 3700 block of 37th Street. Go ahead, Julie, the mic is yours, and you'll see the chat when Melissa tells you if you're running out of time. Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Julie, is it just me or can anybody hear Julie? We cannot hear you, Julie. So your mic is open, but I'm not sure if there's a problem with it. It might be your mic connection. Okay, we could skip and come back. So if you want, my word, Julie, is like log out and log back in. That might help, okay? So just let me know when you're back in and I'll jump in the line, okay? All right, go ahead. Okay. Heather, I think I already addressed that one. If John, the only opportunity to come in here is to comment information, state manager chose to present on it. No, John. For public comment, you could speak on anything that is not on the agenda. If you cannot comment on it, the comment that we made about like what's on the agenda was for the item number. So that way we separate things. So during public comment, if you want to talk about 3 minutes about the wonderful weather and why it's important, I mean, you're welcome to talk to us about it. But during public comment, you're welcome to talk to us about any other subject that you want that's not in the agenda, or by an example, like if let's say the ATHA presentation will have done after the public comment, right? And you couldn't be here for the time. You're welcome to say something in public comment, but you forfeit the time that you have for when the item comes out. So, okay. So we're gonna try you again, Julie.
Yep, can you hear me now?
Well, I could hear you. Oh yeah, definitely could hear you. Go ahead, Julie, the mic is yours.
Okay, great. So I am actually 2 months from my 20th anniversary of living in Mount Rainier, and the entire time I have lived here, I have always heard this narrative about supporting our residents and our local businesses, and it's absolutely baffling to me, the situation that we're talking about here this evening. I can't believe that we have a resident who has invested in this community, gone through the permitting process that we all know is crazy and onerous to establish a business in this community, and to be coming up against this wall with seemingly no engagement from this entity in this body. I didn't hear anybody talk about any actions directly by city personnel involved. I have been under the understanding that it's partially the city that is undertaking this action, not just residents complaining about barking. So I would definitely like some answers in terms of what city involvement has been on this issue, not just complaints from the residents. And it also seems to me, I'll just say one last thing, is that this meeting on Thursday is coming awfully quick for this turnaround on information when this has been going on for quite some time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julie. Okay, I have Julie, it's like the case. John, and I'm sorry if I butcher your last name, Patet, 3200. I don't need that number specifically. 3200 block of Shepherd. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you for clarifying about the process. Sorry for my misunderstanding. And I think I just want to express really deep concern here. I am sure that no group of people who pack all these food baskets for kids and do all these things for families is anything but good-hearted. And I also know of this business owner, Heather Ware, having lived in this community for, I think, coming up on 20 years, is a decent and kind person. So it surprises me that there is no common ground that can be found on this. And it is really of deep concern. And I trust that you all are going to find similar compassion and common sense and make it possible for her to continue a business that she poured her life savings into as a single mom and a veteran and someone investing in this community that is desperate to avoid blight and closed up businesses and the social consequences of people trying to do something good in their community and running into people. My understanding of what's happening is not that there's something about the county that's significant here. It's that the city has moved the goalposts on her, and I won't go into detail about it because I understand that there's something afoot legally. And I think from what I've heard, it's not going to turn out well. And so I'm sad for my city and I'm sad for my neighbor. And I hope to God that you all take this very, very seriously because I know you're good-hearted people. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Okay, let me see. Sorry, guys. Anytime I shut the chat, it goes back to the beginning. Okay, let me see. I got John. Skip and come back. Right, I already got you, Julie. Heather, go ahead. 37 block of 35th Street. And Ayeletta, have you next after, and then Valerie Zelinsky, okay? And then Margaret, in that order. Go ahead. Heather, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you.
Sorry about that. I didn't unmute myself. Heather, 3700 block of 35th Street. I just wanted to come on to say hi. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I do have some concerns because I did receive a notice from the county. And my concern is that we had no mediation, no conversation, with the city council, with the city staff, the neighbors and us were not brought together. And I thought that things would be handled in-house as opposed to being fast-tracked to the county. There's some concerns about other things. And I just really wanted to ask the council if you would consider having a dialogue with at least me initially, or, the main person who has the complaint, because there were only screaming at us at our business, screaming at me as I'm walking to my job, emails sent to me by a particular person, and that was it. I got a couple notices, one notice from the city, code for noise. And so I am feeling a disconnect here between why this hasn't been addressed in-house first before being taken to the county. And that's all I really wanted to put out there. So thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you, Heather. And just to clarify, since you're the owner, you could definitely say the business if you choose to. The other people, we just ask them not to, but I just want to make sure that's clear. Okay.
Thank you. I don't want to violate the rules, but I am here and present, so I thought it would be okay. All right, thank you.
No, it's fine. And I think that's what we try to do it because, when it's on the other end, let's say, right, people talking about, the person or for business, right, want to make sure that space is also protected. And that's the reason why, so as the rules seem a little bit like nitpicky, trust me, so they're a little annoying at times. but I understand why they done it, and people before me, wiser than me as well, have been doing this for many years, and that's, the reason why they put them in place, and I
Yeah.
understood.
No problem. I'm here. You can address me by my
Perfect.
name. You can address my business by name. Since I'm present, I feel comfortable with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Ayelet, Valerie, and Margaret. Go ahead. And I have Ayelet 3200 block of Shepherd, Valerie 4100 block of 31st Street, and Margaret 400 block of 34th Street. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Ayelet Hines, 3200 block of Shepherd. Thank you for this time to speak. I am here speaking on behalf of a business. I won't identify it, but sometimes I bring my dog there. And I understand that the neighbors, like in the immediate vicinity, might have concerns. And of course, the city needs to look out for their interests. And my request is that the city stands up equally, fights equally for the interests and concerns of the business owner. This is a lone proprietor, a veteran, a single mom, someone who's known throughout the community because she advocates, she's a very active member in helping shape the future of this community. So my hope is that the city stands up for her as much as they do for the people who live on that block. And it's true that I don't live on that block, but how our town center is important to me. I don't want it to be blighted. I don't want the only businesses that can thrive to be the ones that sell drugs. So thank you for your attention to this. I know the business owner has been dealing with this for months, and this is what it's taken to have this conversation.
Ayelet, do you pause or you're done?
I'm done.
Okay, perfect. Just you still have some time in the clock. All right.
Oh, one more thing. So if the explicit intention might not be to shut the business down, for a small business owner, throwing roadblocks up in front of her is essentially the same thing.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Valerie Zelinsky, 400 block of 31st Street.
Hi, thank you. Yes. I'm Valerie Zelinsky. I have lived in the 4100 block of 31st Street, for almost 21 years now. And I have seen a lot of businesses have been loath to come here. We've had a lot of trying to get businesses almost and then not. And we need businesses. We need them. And here we have someone who has been so dedicated to investing in our community, moving here, home is here, raising a child here. All of these are deliberate and intentional, starting the business here. And as others have said, gone through all of the really onerous and difficult challenges of what it takes to open a business here. It's clearly a popular and beloved business, and it builds community. And I'm a dog person. I have lots of dogs. My dogs have never actually been in this business other than to visit and say hello. And I have always found it to be clean and managed well. But we seem to have a problem with the best being the enemy of the good. And why, there were some great ideas before in this discussion about having a community discussion, about addressing at the community level, how do we mitigate any issues? And I would just like to know why was that not done before it got to this point? As others have said, this has gone on for months. And it seems to me that, this is all stuff that should have and could have been able to have been done before, especially given, again, as others have said, who the owner is, their investment in our community. We've got other businesses that are far more troublesome and problematic and yet don't have not risen to this level, especially not this soon. So thank you for hearing us. I hope that our voices and the logic have an effect, and thank you for your time. Over.
Thank you so much. Margaret, before I move to you, Melissa, can you clarify something for me? Was it 1 minute left for the speaker? Or was it 1 minute for the whole item? So that way I know how to best move on the next step.
For the speaker.
Okay, thank you so much. Because if not, I was going to ask the council to add more time to the speaker list. All right, go ahead. Apologize, Margaret. I just wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off mid-sentence if we needed more time. So I got Margaret Busa-Strother, 4,000 block of 34th Street. You guys are making it hard for me tonight. Go ahead. That's fine.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak on this issue. As a business owner in Mount Rainier since 2003, it's not hard it's not easy to be a business owner. It's very hard. And I don't think there's a lot to say that hasn't so eloquently been said by everyone before. But I would love to stress that we do have a lot of properties that are vacant. We say we want businesses to come here, and Heather's business is exactly the kind of business we want here. Someone who lives here, who is responsible, is a very upstanding citizen, and is invested in this community. When pets are lost, we all call Heather because she knows everyone. She knows everyone's pets. She reunites pets with people because she knows the community. And this is an important business in our neighborhood. If we want, people work, you have to board your pets. We need this business in our community. And why we can't treat businesses, as people have said, let's have a process where we can sit down and talk and work this out instead of go 0 to 100 and all of a sudden it's like there's a hearing. I haven't had that kind of experience, but I have run into lots of things that I have felt like my first interaction was a slap instead of a handshake. And I think we can do better, and we should not be treating our valued citizens and businesses this way. That's it.
Okay, thank you. For the good of the other, I am going to ask if there's anybody else here that wishes to speak, please let us know. So you could add your name, last name, block, and street. So like if you live on 3700 block of 37th Street in this case. Okay, let me know. Jared with a D. Anything on Facebook? All right, thank you so much. Okay, so Derek, you came in right on time. You see that? Derek Reynolds, 4200 block of 32th Street. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's 4002 32nd Street. Yeah, thank you. So I have a quick question. I don't know 100% all of the background of what's happening with this business. I understand there's a noise complaint, and I understand the city apparently has taken this to the county from what I'm hearing, and there's a rapid comment going on, some sort of thing happening with the county in terms of a noise complaint, et cetera. One question that I have for the city is, I've been here for like 8 years or so, and almost every meeting I go to, I hear people complaining about the businesses at the traffic circle being disruptive, having liquor licenses at 8 a.m., and having all kinds of things happen downtown right there at the bus circle. Yet I've never heard the city take that to the county. Is there something I'm missing why the city has never taken the liquor stores, but yet they're taking another business that does not have any kind of like drunk things going on, people hanging out, people coming from all over the area to be there. I'm just a little confused why this is suddenly we're attacking as a community or as a city this small business owner, but I've been hearing for years there's nothing the city can do about all those businesses that every single person has complained about over the past 8 years. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna do another last call. So be like the last call of last calls. Okay. And then we're closing shop on public comment. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to make sure that so I definitely want to make sure nobody says that they didn't have a chance to speak on public comment. Okay. I'm seeing none, right? Melly, am I missing something or there's nobody else in the deck?
I don't see anyone else.
Okay. All right. We've heard all your information. What limits the things that we can say is right now it's an active investigation, right? And so we have to be very cautious at what we can say to make sure that we do not put ourselves in a position where it could be seen like we're doing one way or another, right? Again, we just got a bunch of documents that we need to review, right? I think that I would definitely want to point out something to you guys. I know that sometimes when we talk about like businesses and licenses and stuff like that, heavily that is dealt by the county, not by the city. Like you guys saw tonight, the county basically clears most of the permits, and then how they call it, the city and some of the permits, gives presentations and stuff like that. That's a bit of flaw the system that we have flagged that makes it a little bit challenging, right? In order to do that. When it comes to other business, I know a few years ago, I want to say more than 4 years ago, I won't name the name of the business, there was a big petition as well for residents upset and wanting to remove a business, right? The council does not give those licenses. We do not approve the licenses. We do not dictate what time certain business open. We could have our opinion, right? But there's certain things that it ties our hands heavily, right? The other thing to tell you guys, we'll review it, and I'll stay at that, right? That's basically where it needs to be. I think the other thing to point out is like the city could request the other residents to do X, Y, and Z, but it's up to what the residents choose to do. And the city is not the only outlet for them to complain when they're not happy with certain things, right? And that goes the medium for various things. So sometimes gets out of our hand mainly because it has reached other levels even before us, right? So in saying that, we'll review, we're like, discuss it with our team and figure out what it looks like. My understanding is that meeting is not dictated by the city, is dictated by the county. They're the ones that put it in place, right? And we might have to figure out, get more clarity from them, but I know that from past experience, like the city does not dictate what the county does, and they don't interfere with what the county does in a sense, right? So all I can tell you guys right now is like we're gonna read through the information we have, figure out if there's any more information that has come through, and I think that I think Ajelet, if I'm pretty certain was you, Ajelet, when you go in ahead and said that sometimes it might not be the intention of people, and it turns out to be like that, right? And that might as well, in a way, it's like your statement could be very accurate, right? So in saying that, we'll regroup and that's kind of where we're at right now, to review the documents that were submitted to us and figure out what else needs to be through it. But to make sure that the thing that I'll tell you that is clear is was not the city that decided to go after a business to complain about it. It wasn't. You know, I think we have a lot of animal lovers in this council more. Well, I think the other council was equally as much as animal lovers and several councils behind. So in saying that, there's policies and procedures that the county does and gives that we're going to have to figure out what there are and make representations, recommendations if there's something we need to change in that sense. Okay. So in saying that, that's as much as I could say to make sure that, just as much as I can say at this point. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. And I thank everybody for sending their emails. I'm pretty sure, knowing the collective, that we have read through the emails. We have, and you know, I know for a fact, I'll speak for myself, but I definitely not to speak on behalf of the team. They all have read through the emails, and if they haven't all complete them, they'll get through them, right? I did make sure that our team does has the emails as well, right? So they've been brief of the information that comes across, so that way they're also aware. Okay, and so thank you guys for like coming tonight, for sending all those emails, and we're gonna regroup and figure out what else is going on. Okay, thank you guys, and have a great night. And stay around, please. There's a lot of great people. Okay, all right. So moving on to all businesses. Second reading adoption resolution 10-2025. The Mayor and Council will have a second reading and adoption resolution 10-2025, proclaiming December 10 as Human Rights Day. Just a reminder, there was proclamation already done. This is just more to in my process of turning my proclamations into resolutions, and adding them to adopt. This resolution was read at a work session at one meeting, and I was coming to the second meeting for vote. And prior to that, it was read also when we had it for proclamation. So it's been read to death, but we'll still read it one last time to make sure that it is on the record. What the resolution
Point of
is.
order. Can
Go
we
ahead, Jen.
not do the reading? It is a long resolution, and the rules, council rules, do not require that it be read aloud.
I would say to you that we could skip it, but seeing that it's the final read up with some of the changes that we made, I definitely want to make sure it stays on the record.
It's on the
Last time
record,
we only,
Mayor.
Jenny, I need to speak.
Point of
Please.
order.
Cutting me off.
Point of order.
It's not an
Point of
answer. So
order.
you wanted a question? I'm answering your question, Jenny.
I'm making
That's
a
what I'm
point
doing.
of order.
And your point of order is out of order.
No, it's not, Mayor.
Okay, then go ahead. Go ahead and have the floor. Go ahead. Speak.
Point of order. It is on the record. It does not need to be read aloud. It is already on the record. The council rules state that the item can be summarized and state the action being requested of the council. It does not need to be read aloud a third time. And a point of order is my allowance under Robert's Rules of Order newly revised, which are the rules we use to govern the council meetings. I'm done.
You asked a question and I was answering it. So if you don't want a question to be answered, don't ask the question. That'll be the most politest way I could do it. And because the council rule says I could summarize, I choose to summarize any way I want to make sure it's on the record so the community knows what we are voting on, because that is important to be transparent. So I'll go ahead and summarize the resolution that is in front of us. Millie, can you go ahead and put it in the screen? Thank you so much. So this proclamation that we have for vote tonight is Resolution 10-2025. I went ahead and introduced this proclamation, and it's proclaiming December 10 as Human Rights Day in the city of Mount Rainier. As you know, the city of Mount Rainier has had a long history of standing up for human rights and the rights of our residents in various fields. So it's important to us, actually, for us to put in a resolution to make sure that we stand up in writing with what we believe. Okay, sorry, Melly, I'm trying to open it a little bit wider. So the resolution goes through whether we're asked on why December 10 is key. as a day and what it was selected, starting with December 10 of 1948, where the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, establishing universal rights and freedom for all people, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, language, political opinion, national origin, and other status. Okay, so December is Human Rights Month, and it brings awareness to continue protecting the residents from discrimination and cornerstone of the city's legal framework. It also was established, to establish multiple rights such as freedom, equal dignity, freedom of movement, peace, and overall worth of every human being. The United States ratified the International Convention of Civil and Political Rights in June 1st of 1992. The Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhumane, and Degrading Treatment or Punishment on October 21st, 1994, and bounded by the terms of those treaties. Federal and state municipal governments should abide by treaties ratified by the United States as they are considered supreme laws of the land. Under Clause 2 of Article 6 of the United States Constitution, which was signed on April 24, 1970, but never ratified. The Vienna Convention of the Laws of Treaties, which obligates its participants to refrain from acts that would defeat the object and purpose of international treaties. And Convening on Economic, Social, Cultural Rights, which was signed by the United States in 1977, was also never ratified. Okay. Thank you, Melly. The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms and Discrimination Against Women, which was designed by the United States in July 17, 1910, but never ratified, obligates its participants to eliminate racial discrimination and promote understanding among all races, and requires the parties to criminalize hate speech and criminalize membership in racist organizations. Human rights are universal and indivisible. They transcend national and local boundaries, and governments at every level share responsibility for ensuring that these rights are upheld in law, policy, and practice. All levels of governments are obligated to prevent rather than empower discrimination, violence on the hands of the state. Thank you. The City of Mount Rainier has implemented policies and issued resolutions to uphold, protect, defend human rights of the city residents, including declaring reproductive rights as human rights, as well as inclusionary laws to protect our community, as well as granting the right to vote for non-citizens on municipal elections. And the state of Maryland protects fundamental human rights, including the rights to healthcare, non-discrimination, life, privacy, freedom of movement, freedom from cruel and inhuman treatment, and many others. Whereas the mass and illegal detention, kidnapping, dehumanization, and deportation suspends the human rights of immigrants who are fundamental members of our community and this nation, the systematic injustice of the criminal legal system include the practice of forced prison labor and extreme sentences such as death by incarceration, water injustice as manifested in the environment racism, the expansion of terrorism framework, and vast surveillance infrastructure used to repress expression. U.S. has been complicit in advancing violations of domestic and international law, the regression of reproductive rights and bodily autonomy, and the criminalization of homelessness and poverty of all examples of grave human rights violations. The legal framework noted in human rights principle at the local and state level is essential in ensuring access to healthcare, preventing discrimination, safeguarding lives, dignity of all people, especially amid ongoing federal attacks. On August 27, in an attempt to evade accountability and grave ongoing human rights violation in the country, the United States sent a letter to the Office of High Commission of Human Rights, stating the administration will not participate in a universal periodic review, UN process through which countries review each other's human rights records. And as of November 7, the United Nations Human Rights Council adopted a decision after the United States non-participation, which it called on the United States to resume its cooperation with the University Periodic Review and postpone it to November 2026 while leaving open the possibility for it to be scheduled sooner. Every UN member county participants in the Universal Periodic Review process, and today only 2 other countries have ever attempted a review, and no country has ever fully done so. Where, let me see, rather than avoiding accountability for erosion attacks on human rights and all levels of government, should be working to respect, protect, and ensure human rights. The United States voted for the adoption of the Universal Declaration, a fundamental document adopted by the General Assembly of the United States on December 10, in the wake of atrocities of World War II. In June 24, the United States Court, Doe versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, overturned nearly 50 years of precedent established under Roe versus Wade. And Planned Parenthood versus Casey eliminated the federal constitutional right of abortion in the United States and resulting in the widespread restrictions bans that have forced thousands of people to travel across state lines and obtain civil health care. The first 2 years since Doe's, state prosecutors across nations have initiated at least 412 cases charging pregnant women with crimes related to pregnancy, loss, birth, and more than 3/4 of people charged were low-income individuals. Of those 264 of those cases, information to support criminal persecution was obtained or disclosed in medical settings. Marginalized community, including Indigenous, Black, Brown, immigrant, LGBTQA+ individuals, people living with disability, both seen and unseen, and those living in poverty and rural areas, bear a disproportionate burden of abortion restriction criminalization, reflecting systematic inequalities within both health and legal system. And whereas June 24, 25, Rainier became the first in the county to pass a resolution claiming their reproductive rights, including the access to abortion and human rights. On December 10 of each year around the world is celebrated as Human Rights Day. The city of Rainier aligns itself with the human rights obligations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Universal Convention on Civil and Political Rights, the International Convention on the Elimination of Forms of Racial Discrimination, and Convention Against Torture, other cruelty, inhumane, or degrading treatment and punishment in accordance to Article 4, Clause 2 of the United States Constitution, and standards in solidarity with local, national, and international efforts to protect and expand human rights for all. Be it further resolved that the Mayor and City Council hereby recognize December 10 as Human Rights Day in the city of Rainier and commit to uphold freedom, democracy, human rights in our own city and our own country around the world. And this resolution will be, if passed, adopted today. Thank you guys so much. Is there any questions regarding the resolution, or you guys could call for a vote? Go ahead, Valerie.
I'm proclaiming December 10th as Human Rights Day in the city of Mount Rainier.
You could, sorry, Valerie, you cut off at the beginning. Was that a motion? I apologize.
Yes, I move to approve this.
Thank you so much. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Council, Danielle, Joseph, Jenny, Valerie, do you have any discussion regarding this resolution motion? Hearing none from any of you. This resolution, so discussion, any objection, abstentions? Hearing no objections or attentions, resolution passed unanimously. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next item. Okay, vote on approval minutes. The Mayor and Council vote on approving the minutes for November 18, 2025 special legislative meeting work session, December 2nd, 2025 public hearing and legislative meeting. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve both minutes?
I move to approve both.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is it probably moved in second? Any discussion? Abstentions? Objections? Hearing none, the minutes have been approved. Melly, thank you so much once again for you and your team to always keeping us on track. New business, first reading of resolution 01-2026, authorizing participation in the Prince George's County Plan Assistance for Municipal and Communities PAMC Strategic Action and Project Plan. The Mayor and Council will have the first reading of the resolution 01-2026. You put it on the screen, and just a reminder to our residents, we did have a presentation in the work session where the members of the organization came and talked to us about what it will take and how it could support us when it comes to our strategic planning. And the next steps following was supposed to put a proclamation together, make sure that we go through our steps to approve it, in order for our city manager to move forward with an agreement with them. Mr. Kamali, am I missing something else of it?
No, Mayor, that's all, and they're waiting for this one to be approved as soon as possible, then we can move forward with the
Thank you so
project.
much. And for those that do keep track of the resolutions and follow through, this is Resolution 01-2026, introduced by our Mayor and Council. The resolution of the City of Mount Rainier authorizing participation in the Prince George's County Planning Assistance for Municipalities Communities, also referred to as PAMC, the Strategic Action Plan Project. Okay, all right. Whereas the City of Mount Rainier is committed to promoting economic development, job growth, public safety and emergency preparedness, environmental sustainability and climate action, infrastructure and transportation, good governance, citizenship engagement, and enhancement the quality of life for its residents. Whereas the city has identified the need to develop a strategic action plan that provides actionable strategies to advance its goals and aligns with the city mission and vision. The Prince George's County Planning Assistance for Municipalities Communities PAMC program provides an opportunity for municipalities to engage in planning projects for foster sustainability growth, transportation alternatives, and community-focused initiatives. Whereas the City of Mount Rainier intends to build upon prior plans and studies conducted by the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, MNCPPC, as well as other initiatives undertaken by the city to support community development and regional interconnection. And whereas the participation in the PAM strategy, a strategic action plan will result as a set of actionable strategies and recommendations that the city can implement to achieve its indefinite goals and priorities. So therefore, let it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Mount Rainier, Maryland, that the City of Mount Rainier hereby express the support for an authorization participation in the PAM Strategic Action Plan project. The city manager or their designee is authorized to execute any documents, applications, or agreements necessary to participate in the project. The city should collaborate with PAM representatives, consultants, and other stakeholders to ensure the successful development of the strategic action plan. The city should use the findings and recommendations of the strategic action plan to guide future projects, initiatives, and to promote economic development and job growth, public safety and emergency preparedness, environmental sustainability and climate action, infrastructure and transportation, good governance and citizenship engagement, and enhance the quality of life within Mount Rainier. This resolution, will be adopted by Mayor Council. Today, it is the first official reading, and I'll be up for vote on our legislative meeting. And in February, Daniela, I'm still talking. Okay, it will be adopted if so the council decides to move forward with it in the first legislative meeting in February. This gives time to the residents to have any feedback for council in case there's something else that you see that might need to be added, flag it up to the city manager. But please make us aware if there's like major changes. We definitely would like to hear in the work session, just to let us know if there's paragraphs or sentence change, so we are in tune with the changes, so therefore the community knows what we have passed and what the purpose of the project was. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and open the floor to Mayor and Council, and to remind you guys, give me time so that I could give you guys a space to speak, and the chair does decide in what order we speak, right? So I'm trying to be patient, but honestly, I'm also tired, guys. I know you guys are short in attention, but I'm also tired. So be a little
Point of
patient,
order,
okay?
don't make assumptions about my attention span, Mayor.
Excuse me, I was speaking in I person.
I said a point of order.
Point of order. I really wish you would know how to utilize point of order better. Like I said, give me a little bit of patience. I am tired. That's what I said. I expect an I statements, Jenny. And I appreciate for you not to jump on me every
Point
tiny
of order.
word I have.
You made an
Thank you so
assumption about
much.
my attention span.
Thank you.
I don't
so
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you so
Mayor,
much, Jenny.
stop
Thank you
interrupting
so
me when I
much.
make a point of order.
Point
I
of
have
order,
the
Jenny. So
floor.
there you go. I made a point of order. Thank you so much.
Point of order. Point of orders cannot be interrupted. until they are complete.
If there is a purpose for a point of order, but to like claim that I said something, Joe said, that's a different story. Point of order would be like regarding the resolution that's in front of us, if something needs to be on it. If not, we're gonna spend the whole night doing points of orders with no point of order. So go ahead, Danielle, the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you. Going back to what Councilmember Hoffpower said in the agenda, that this is a simple resolution. And this is essentially the second reading. It's been 14 days since we read it the first time, and Mr. Kamali just expressed that they are waiting for this. So we need to get this done expeditiously. So I am going to make a motion that we vote on this tonight. So I am making a motion right now on the floor that we vote on City of Mount Rainier, Maryland Resolution number 01-2026, a resolution of the City of Mount Rainier authorizing participation in the Prince George's County Planning Assistance for Municipalities and Communities, PAMC, Strategic Action Plan Project.
There's only a problem to approve the, hi guys. The problem is you guys proved the agenda and reached the consensus that it was not gonna be a vote for tonight. That's what was approved when the agenda was approved. Now you guys are changing your mind once again. It is almost 9:30 at night and you approved the agenda to let the residents know that this item was not gonna be voted on it. And you guys have changed your night. I mean, for Mr. Kamali, is there an emergency need for this resolution to pass tonight? That it could harm the city if it's not passed tonight?
Excuse me, Mayor, point of order. There is a motion on the floor.
It cannot be a motion if it's not a voting item. That's the problem. You're not fighting protocol.
I am following protocol because Mr. Kamali, the city manager, just expressively said that the people who are waiting, they are waiting for this. It is obviously a simple resolution. So making the motion is valid according to Robert's Rules of Order and our council rules and regulations. My motion is valid, it is legal, and it is on the floor.
It is not legal. Mr. Kamali, again, I will address your question. Can you please answer my question? Is there a point of emergency which dictates this resolution needs to pass today?
Oh, Mayor, I just said that the park and planning is waiting for this. And if you recall, we decided to go through 2 readings. Right now, I'm sitting on the fence. I just want to know that it's not an emergency that has to be done tonight. If the rest of the council want to do it, that's up to you. I'm just out of that, and I don't want to get involved, to be honest with you.
I just want to make sure that you were not saying that it was an emergency that has to happen today, or that by any means, like if it's not passed today, the program will fail and we will no longer be able to work with them. So
either way, point of order, Mayor, there is a legal motion on the floor.
It's not legal, Danielle, because
legal.
it's not a
Selena,
voting
it is
item.
legal. Selena, is this a simple resolution or not?
You guys decided to move it to the next meeting. That's what you guys decided at the beginning of the agenda.
Kamali made his statement.
And Mr. Kamali said he'll be happy to withdraw if it's causing this. He's okay. At no point Mr. Kamali wants to be brought into this, that this is the reason why it needs to be done. I want to make sure that it's clear. You're bringing him up and he's made it clear that he's not saying that it is a necessity for us to pass it today and to not be utilized in that way. He's being clear on that.
Mayor, you cannot remove a motion on the floor unilaterally. It either has to go to a second. If no second is had, then it dies on the floor. If a second is had and it does not pass, it does not pass. It is a simple resolution. My motion is alive on the floor. And it does not need to be editorialized or unilaterally removed. Thank you.
Again, it's not legally done because we accepted the agenda with no vote tonight for this item. As simple as that. I think that we need, how do you guys said you wanted that earlier?
I do not see anywhere in our rules where it says that a motion cannot be made on something that isn't specified in the agenda that's up for a vote. If that's in the rules, we will stand corrected. But Mr. Kamali did say that this was an urgent need, and our council rules allow us to vote on items, simple resolutions, if they are on their first reading.
Mr. Kamali, again, is this an urgent matter for us to vote tonight? Because it's way more than once that you have been brought up that you said it
No,
was
it's
an
not an
emergency.
urgent, and Joseph, I just want to let you know that I didn't say that it's urgent to be done tonight, but if you guys want to do it, I'm just, I'm out of it. And Mayor asked me, and I said that I'm in a communication with them and they're waiting for this. That doesn't mean that it has to be done tonight, please. And if you guys want to do it tonight, it's your choice. I'm not a council member. I'm sorry.
I will reiterate, Mayor, that once a motion is on the floor, only the person who made the motion can remove it. So I ask that the
Not
mayor.
if it's an illegal motion,
It is not
Danielle.
an illegal
You guys
motion.
decided at the beginning of the agenda that you guys were not gonna vote. It was just gonna be a reading. Correct? So now you guys are backtracking to what you agreed. So when the residents, when we approved the agenda, the residents left with understanding that this was just going to be a reading and no vote on this. Now you're changing your mind, you want to vote on it. That to me feels like it's not transparent when you guys make up your mind. And now at 9:30 at night, you guys are saying, oh, never mind, we're going to vote on it again. So it cannot be on it. We could send it to legal. But at this point, I don't feel comfortable when we told the residents that it was not going to be a voting item. And now we change our mind to decide we wanted voting. So I will tell you that it cannot, if it's not an emergency, as we clearly stated, it could just go on for the very meeting for a vote and it'll be fine. The other thing is, like we said, we're going to go into a work session to define what is simple resolution versus a different kind of resolution. So that way we get clarity from legal, as well as the residents get clear on why is it that some things are taking 2 meetings and some things are taking 1 meeting to be able to pass. That's all I am asking.
I made my statement. It is on the record. I do not agree that you can unilaterally remove a motion once it is on the floor. I would also challenge that the record be read back to where a voice or a roll call vote was taken for the agenda. I was just said, is anybody in disagreement? I didn't say anything. I didn't raise my hand. I did not legally vote. So if you want to get technical, we can get technical, but there is a live motion on the floor.
Let me tell you something. Okay, if you decide the agenda was not approved, then we have to start the meeting from item number 1 because an agenda was not approved. So please let me know if that's the way you like to proceed. I'm happy to go back to item number 1 of the agenda and move down to every single item of the agenda, because you are saying, whether you realize it or not, you are saying that every single item in the agenda is invalid because an agenda was not approved. Okay, that's exactly what you're saying. So therefore, if an agenda was not approved, right? And I did ask you guys more than once, I said, are we all in agreement? And I said, okay, if we're in agreement, I'll go ahead and move forward.
Mayor, you
okay, so I will say something to you, Danielle. There's 2 different points you're making, but if you're making the claim that the agenda has not been approved, we will have to start from item number 1 and go ahead and go through the whole entire agenda. So this agenda for this meeting will have to be discarded and everything approved on it will have to be redone again, whatever you guys could we could work on scheduling a different meeting. But that's what you're saying, where you're saying the agenda was not approved.
Point of order. You did not take a voice vote. You don't know if I voted for or if I would have abstained. I would have abstained because I agree with Councilmember Hoffpower that a simple resolution should have taken a vote. You did not ask us. You just did what is traditional, which we really do need to talk about and modify how we vote in this council. But as I said, there is a motion on the floor. You can either ask for a second and let the second not happen. You can ask me to remove my motion from the floor, which would be appropriate, or you can continue to sit here and editorialize. I mean, it's 9:30.
Thank you so much. No, I know what time it is, Danielle.
Okay,
but the
there
other
is a
thing
motion
is,
on the floor, Mayor.
at the end
I
of
would
the
ask
day,
that you do the appropriate thing that the chair should
I
do.
am doing the appropriate thing. I'm following procedure. You guys went ahead and agreed on an agenda to move forward. Simple as that. If you're telling me the agenda is not valid because you guys didn't voice your vote, then that means we have to, every item that has been approved in the agenda today will have to go back for vote because of the fact that it was not approved. So I want to make sure that that's what you're saying, because that's the
saying that
only
I
way we like go ahead
abstained
and move forward.
and
Okay,
you didn't
so
act.
Melissa and Mr. Kamali, since this meeting has to be redone,
Oh,
right?
wait a minute,
Unless
excuse
the
me,
council
point of order.
members,
Wait a minute,
unless the
okay, this is
council
point of order.
members
No,
decline.
point of order, point of order. How many votes does it take to pass something in the city of Mount Rainier, Mayor? How many votes does it take to pass anything in this city?
Danielle, I'm not going to be better.
I can
by you.
abstain
Point of
without having
order.
to redo the
Your
whole thing.
decorum has left the door, Danielle. I'm trying to be patient and explain to you guys the reason why this not my hold, because we're asking for a vote when we told the community we were not voting on something. And it's no urgency on it. What I want to make sure is like it stays on hold, because if we pass it today and we tell the city manager this has legally been done the right way, it's not going to hold water if we change we keep flip-flopping on whether it's something. That's also telling the residents that there's no urgency. And if we decide not to vote on something and then change our mind and say, no, we're going to vote, it's acceptable. So people might have stayed and decide like, hey, you know what? I have input in this item because it's a voting item, in comparison to them thinking that it was just going to be a read through and they had more time to let us know what the feedback and information is for it. That's when I closed the message by saying, please, residents, if you have any feedback about it, send it to the city manager, send it to us, let us know in order to incorporate if there's something that you guys need us to do.
Mayor, the simple solution to this is
Go
to
ahead, Joseph, your mic is open. So, Council, I'm going to ask you a direct question. Was the agenda not approved?
The agenda, Mayor, the agenda was approved, but I'm looking through our rules and I don't see anywhere where the agenda has to say that there is a vote and we do have a motion on the floor. If there's a rule you know about, you certainly have more expertise than I do, but I've not seen any rules that say that the agenda has to specifically say that there will be a vote.
Actually, there is a rule that needs to notify people, ideally, X amount of hours to let them know there's going to be a vote. If an agenda is, go ahead and switch to remove a vote. You have let people know that there's no voting taking place at that time. So therefore,
do you know what the rule is, Mayor?
Melissa, do you know what the rule is when it comes to informing people that they need to vote? How far in advance do you have to post the agenda to let people we are going to be voting on items? Is it 48, 72 hours? What is it? I know we posted Friday. What is the call?
Usually for the meeting on Tuesday, we have to post the agenda by the Friday before the Tuesday.
So that's at least what, 72 hours or something like that? So Joseph, to answer your question, the meeting agenda needs to be posted to notify people what we're going to be discussing. Earlier today, when, as you stated, the agenda got passed, right? When the agenda got passed, we removed the voting for this item. So therefore, if you want to switch, the community needs to have enough time between you saying, no, okay, remove it and put it back in a voting block. That usually will give people enough time to be able to know like, oh, this item is going to be addressed for vote tonight. The minute it was removed from the agenda as a voting item, you need to like reset the clock to give people the opportunity to be able to vote. That's where that's the part that I need you guys to understand. Those are the rules that have been established, unless it's an urgency. When we approve the meeting in the top, this is the reason why when we approve the meeting in the top, that's when we say like, okay, if you we said, do you want to delete items? Do you want to add items? If by any emergency you need to add an item, let's say Mr. Kamali were to say, hey guys, this item needs to pass today because of X reason, right? We need it because, by within the next 48 hours, the decision is going to be made and the city needs to take us, if the city needs to choose to take a stand, here it is. So you add it to the top of the meeting in order to make sure that you alert the community members, one, an item is going to be addressed that wasn't originally in the meeting, right? But for the most part, we try to give our team enough time for them to review it, and that includes the staff, but also us as well. So if we have like advertised it into, that we were going to remove it, that's the reason why that's the reason why I'm concerned about the fact that we're doing this, you know, because you went from yes, no. Originally, the item wasn't even, you know, so that's where it's at. And as a matter of fact, this item wasn't identified on as a simple one item reading rule until right now. You know,
No,
we discussed it. We discussed other items in the agenda, correct? It was the I apologize, it's late. I might be like a little forgetful on it. But I would say too, that's the reason why my hesitation, because once you withdraw it from it, you have to have time to let the community know that that item is gonna go back up for voting. And when we approved the agenda, we said it was gonna be removed from voting.
Mayor, if
That's
I may, please.
that's the thing. That's my concern. So
Okay,
to answer
Mayor, if
your
I
question,
may.
Joseph.
If I may,
Mhm.
you are correct. At the beginning of the meeting, though, Councilmember Hoffpower did identify it as a simple resolution. You did not take a vote. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We get down here, Mr. Kamali makes the statement that they are waiting for this resolution. Based on what Councilmember Hoffpower said in the agenda when we were discussing that, in conjunction with Mr. Kamali saying that they were waiting on this, knowing full well it's going to be another month before we're able to vote on this. That is why I made the motion to adopt it tonight as a simple resolution. Now, I am willing to withdraw my motion to discuss it in a work session at the next work session to discuss whether this is or is not a simple resolution. But that is the reason that I made the motion. And you can ask me to remove my motion or give me the opportunity to do it myself, but you cannot overrule unilaterally a motion on the floor. I am willing to remove my motion as long as it's noted in the record that I made the motion based off of Councilmember Hoffpower's identifying it as a simple resolution and Mr. Kamali's statement that the entity is waiting for this, and I did not want to wait another month to vote.
So withdraw your motion if that's what, we'll officially withdraw your motion, Danielle, because that was a lot of other stuff.
Thank you. I officially withdraw my motion to adopt or to vote on the City of Mount Rainier, Maryland, resolution number 01-2026, a resolution of the City of Mount Rainier authorizing participation in the Prince George's County Planning Assistance for Municipalities and Communities, PAMC, Strategic Action Plan Project.
Okay, you withdraw the original motion. Joseph, you seconded. Are you withdrawing your second?
I don't believe that is a process I need to do. Only the motion needs to be withdrawn.
We usually ask for the second person to also remove it, so that was a clear understanding that both persons are removing it, just for the record.
I would say I think we need to go back to basics and go with what our rules say rather than what we've always done.
Okay, perfect. And it's very comical for people to laugh about things. And I wish one day you guys will run meetings as well, But I will say this to you.
Excuse me.
I
I'm
can
sorry.
speak. I have the floor. I have the floor. Point of
We
order.
have got to stop
Point of
talking bad
order.
about the other council.
Point of order. Sorry, I said point of
That
order,
was
right?
rude,
That's all it
Mayor.
takes. Point of order, Danielle.
I said point of
I've
order
been already
first.
disrespected enough in this meeting, guys. Honestly, you guys need to stop, okay? Again, we'll go ahead with our legal team to figure out what could be done in the future if this happens. I'm fine with that, as well as reviewing what is motion one or other. I just want to make sure to state, since it's going to be for the record, that my concern was that an agenda got approved and we stated one way and we were going to switch midway. If that's something we could do, I need to find out what the steps are in order to make sure that we follow correctly in order to make sure not to put the staff and ourselves in a bad situation. That is it. And Mr. Kamali, thank you for the comment you made. I know I asked you more than once because I wanted to make sure it's clear I did not miss something where it was urgent and I was missing it, So thank you for that as well. All right, moving on to item number 11. Presentation of minutes. The city clerk will present the December 16, 2025 work session minutes to the mayor and council. Melly, can you put them on the screen, please? Okay, the minutes could be found in your package. They were submitted to you in our work. These minutes are gonna go for voting on the February meeting. Melissa, again, thank you so much for the work you and your team does. I think that sometimes some work is taken for granted. I know you guys take a lot of pride in the work that you guys do and making sure that we are on track. So please explain my thank you to you, because I know you lead a very collected team, Mr. Kamali as well, and in making sure that we have all the legal documents that we need when we need them. So thank you guys so much for that. Okay. And saying that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been probably moved in second. Any discussion? Objections, abstentions? Hearing none, the meeting has come to an end. Have a good night. Thank you, staff, for being as wonderful as you are. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. I definitely look forward to doing a walkthrough to our, new home. All right. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, staff. Thank you, Mr. Kamali.